So far it's been 50 minutes just trying to get this swatch done. I'm more of a knitter that likes to use smaller knitting needles to do stuff, because using, for me, bigger knitting needles doesn't really put the full quality I like to see in the stitch. I guess that's because of my designing background education, learning the industry way. And sometimes too, if the knitting needles are a little too big, like doing lacy stuff and that, your stitch, like your work can come out. Yeah, it's faster, but are you getting the quality? I'm so afraid of my knitting to come undone. Jeff Richards, I knitted him in April. I knitted him a blanket. He calls it a quilt. He posted the other day that he was doing his impressions, I think he calls them, and so it's on his Twitter, the Jeff Richards, if you're interested. And I didn't even notice, but he tweeted to me. He goes, "Yeah, if you look behind me in the video," he said, "you know, there's the quilt you made me." And it's been over a year now. I gave that in DC to him like last April. So his latest, if you go to the Jeff Richards and give him a follow on Twitter and look at his video, his impersonation, you'll see like a black blanket. He's wearing a red shirt, and you can see part of the lettering I cross-stitched in the back. Ditto Kiddo, because he also does songs. And I was like oblivious. I didn't even notice. I was more paying attention to him wearing a red shirt, because he actually looked really good. And I was like, oh my god, my blankets! I was like, oh, he's such a nice guy, Jeff Richards. He's such a nice guy. Very, very talented. He used to be on NSL and Mad TV. I love him. He's super nice. That really made my day. Can't believe it's been over a year now. Time just flies. My birthday's at the end of the month. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna be closer to 50. Oh my gosh, it's getting there. My son's still a teen, but he's an adult. I don't know where the time goes. I keep reminiscing when he was a kid, all the stuff he kept me busy. My son kept me busy. Taking him swimming, camping, to the beach, to Virginia Beach, to, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Taking him out all the time. Keeping my son busy. Had him in daycare, for pre-K. I don't know if Canada still has it, but I know Ontario I went to pre-K and then kindergarten. I think you can get it here, but it's harder, so I just put him in daycare for pre-K. But yeah. It's so weird now that he's older. He's an adult. It's freaking weird to have downtime. He's my life. It's just, he plays video games. But it's cool because he had the last few days off work. And so we were sitting here talking about Twitch, Twitter. He likes Tim the Tap Man. Oh my gosh. Just spending some time with my son was wonderful. He got a new desk for his computer. And it's really nice. And it was funny because when I didn't go with them, I stayed here. And so Jeremy, my husband, took Joshua to go get a desk because there's nowhere to buy desks. Like, even online, it was like, I said, okay, let's see if we can get you a gaming desk at Amazon. Oh, it won't be here until mid-August. So they went to IKEA, and they were sending texts back and forth asking my opinion because I'm picky about the decor in the living room. So I was like guiding them on what they should and should not get, but then I was like, no, well, it's your money, get what you want. It has to be something that's gonna be what you, because IKEA is a little more expensive and you want quality. So I said, make sure the wood is great quality so it won't fall apart. And then when I was video chatting with Jeremy on the phone, because now it has video, you can actually, through texting, you can also video now. So we were doing that. And so the desk that he got is oak, I think it is, or pine. But it's so nice. It's that decent wood that you know is not going to fall apart. So Jeremy put that together for him. He has an old Dell monitor. So he has 2 monitors. He's going to have to upgrade. And the glare, you can kind of see the difference between the newer monitor, how the glare happens. Oh my gosh. It's like his little dorm room in my living room. And then Jeremy has his stuff downstairs in the basement. It's like through all this, we have to compensate for every... Good thing we have 3 floors then. It's like we have to compensate for everybody in the house at the moment. Our own little office space. So Jeremy has his old desk because he had in the basement, he was just sitting on our coffee table with his work stuff on the futon. So now we have a desk for Jeremy for his office needs. It's like you're winging it. But it'd be a lot harder if we had 2 floors. We had that in our last townhome, 2 floors. I kind of like 2 floors better though, because the cleaning with 3 is so much more work. But at the same time, now we each have our floor. I don't know why I miss our first house. The location though was it was quiet and good for Joshua to grow up, but it was not convenient for anything else. I liked it because I did a lot of walks and lost weight. I've been walking around here, but it's not the same. It's like if we want to go to the park, it's a little, not that far away, but we got to pack up, put the bike rack on, and if we want to go biking, and the other place is just bike and go, walk and go. All right, so it's staying consistent at 5. All right. It's so hard when you're not using the straight knitting needles and in the round, trying to get it to fit accordingly. Doesn't look like there's going to be much needed in the way of blocking, thank goodness. It's staying pretty flat. So the size 7 is a pretty decent size also too for the stitching. But like I said, it's a little more see-through as you go. So I'm definitely going to stick with the size 4 knitting needles. And this one's a little bit heavier. This one's a little bit lighter, but it's not heavy stiff. And that's how you want the fabric to still work. So I think that'll work in this one as a sweater, and this one will definitely work as a hat. And it won't take as long to knit up when you're using it as a hat. And so, like, I have a knitting book. It's downstairs, actually. Usually I put everything in Excel electronically, but I bought a book where it actually has, you can put little placements of your I don't think the swatch is actually going to fit in that little section, but you can put down your project, write it all down. All right. But usually I put a lot of my patterns. Well, I get my husband to do the patterns in Excel for me, so I can just start knitting instead of... Because it's so much work prepping, doing the swatches, doing the calculations, making the pattern. Like I'm making the flat pattern for the tank top. It starts to become time consuming. So I get Jeremy to... We'll calculate everything. We're in with my measurements for the tank top. So once the pattern's done and we know how the style is going to be for the tank top, I'll use my swatch to calculate with my measurements. And then I'll get him to put it all in Excel for me so I can print it out and start knitting it. I put him to work. He has the easy part. He doesn't do all the knitting and designing. And you can also wash your swatches before you do your calculations and stuff, just in case there's a bit of shrinkage. It's lunchtime. It's noon. I had to drop my son off at work. I'm going to have to pick him up. I'm just waiting for him to text me there. I'm sure he's going to... Sometimes he comes home for lunch. My days are busy. I'm his chauffeur. I'm in such a knitting mood today. I just want to get a bunch of swatches done so I can start some projects.